All right, let's dive into a story that starts out looking like a simple fan fiction, but wow, it quickly spirals into something else entirely. Today we're going to break down the cosmology of a web novel called The Chronicles of a God, and we're going to figure out just how ridiculously powerful its universe gets in only its first 15 chapters.
It all kicks off with our main character, Nova. And right out of the gate, this is the promise he makes. He's not exactly starting with heroic intentions, you know. This single line really sets a very specific, destructive tone for everything that comes next.
And that, right there, is the core question we're digging into. What happens when a character's desire to break their world extends to breaking the very story they exist in? Because as you're about to see, this story doesn't just bend the rules, it completely shatters them.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with the familiar setup, then pull back the curtain on its hidden meta-narrative. After that, we'll grab some power scaling tools to really analyze the evidence and deliver a final verdict on just how huge this whole thing gets.
First up, let's take a look at how this story sets up a pre-classic isekai scenario and then immediately flips it on its head.
Okay, so you gotta understand, this story is a fanfic of the huge series That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. You probably know it as Tensura. But it makes some massive changes right away. We get an overpowered original character, Nova, who's a fox, alongside a female version of Rimuru. But the real game changer? Nova knows he's in a story, and he starts pulling the strings from the inside, immediately.
And he does not waste a single second. On day one, he literally asks for and gets every skill in existence. By the end of week one, he's already nudging major plot points, like Rimuru's first encounter with the dragon Veldora. A few days later, he secretly takes control of the dire wolves, and before 2 weeks are up, he's completely altering the original timeline. The guy is an active, destabilizing force from the word go.
So, for the first few chapters, you're probably thinking, okay, yeah, I get it. It's a classic, overpowered character story. But then, the author drops these side stories, and the whole scope of this world just explodes.
And this is the absolute kicker. The story suddenly pulls the camera way, way back to show us that it has an audience. And not just any audience, we're talking literal supreme gods who are watching the main plot like it's their favorite TV show. The fourth wall isn't just broken here, it's completely vaporized. We get introduced to a character named Jakku, who is, no joke, the author's avatar inside the story. And here, he's complaining about creating these vast, infinitely layered realities only for us mortals to boil it all down to who would win in a fight. It's a direct confirmation of a higher, authorial reality.
And just to show you the scale we're playing with, the story brings in the top dogs from other fictions, like Marvel's The One Above All. He basically claims ownership over the very concept of a story. He's setting an incredibly high bar for what power even means here. So, with a scope this massive, right? With infinite realities and beings who literally write them, how on earth do you even begin to measure a character's power? Well, we need a system.
So first, let's get on the same page with the term cosmology. In power scaling, it's really just a map of a story's entire reality. Is it one universe, a multiverse, or something more?
And the second big idea is transcendence. This one is so important. It's when a being on a higher plane of existence looks down at a lower one and sees it as just, well, fiction. Think of an artist looking at their own drawing. That's a transcendent relationship.
So, using those two concepts, we get this tiering system. It's like a ladder. It starts simple, at universe level, then climbs up through multiverse, then to hyperverse, which is a reality with infinite dimensions. But at the very top, you get outerverse level. This is a state of being that's completely outside of space, time, and dimensions. It's a being that sees an infinite dimensional reality as just a storybook.
So, how does this whole framework actually apply to our fox, Nova? Let's look at the hard evidence from those side stories where the gods themselves are talking.
Okay, so when these supreme beings talk about Nova, it's not just idle chatter, it's direct evidence. You have JCW, the author, who is totally stunned that his own character is aware of him. You have the One Above All, the supposed owner of all stories, being directly threatened by Nova. And then you have DC's top god, the Presence, basically saying that Nova doesn't have to play by the normal rules of fiction that even they do.
But this line, right here, this is the smoking gun.
It's from the present. He just comes right out and admits that Nova's very nature as a character lets him surpass even them, the so-called top-tier gods of all fiction. He transcends his own creators.
So, what does all this evidence actually point to? After just 15 chapters, where does this story's cosmology truly land on our scale? The case is just incredibly strong. Nova is fully aware of his story as fiction. He directly talks to and even threatens the beings who are writing him. The story itself tells us he surpasses these same beings. It means he's operating on a level that is fundamentally outside and above a reality made of infinite dimensions and infinite stories. Based on the power scaling system we laid out, this puts the cosmology of the Chronicles of a God squarely at Tier 1A, Outerverse level. And what's absolutely wild is that it gets here in just the first 15 chapters. That's just incredible.
So, why does any of this even matter? It's not just about who's stronger than who. This tiering tells us that the story isn't just about a powerful fox in a slime world. It's about something way, way deeper. The whole thing is really a commentary on the relationship between a character, their author, and the very idea of fiction. Nova isn't just breaking his world, he's breaking the fourth wall and confronting the hands that are writing him into existence in the first place. And that leaves us with one last, really provocative thought. If a character can perceive, interact with, and even threaten the one writing their story, who is really in control of the narrative? That's the question this whole cosmology forces you to ask.